Inscription. All right, she is recording. Okay, Maddie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me a little bit why you wanted to come talk to me today.
I want to come talk to you because I guess I've been feeling a little bit anxious in some of my classes.
Mm-hmm.
I think specifically, like, not going to class. I really like the people in my class and I like my professors, but I just have a tough time, like, speaking in class.
Mm,
And it's been weighing on me, I guess, because because I'm not able to, well, I can speak in class, but sometimes I don't. And then that leads to me kind of feeling bad about myself. And I feel like I'm not as smart as everybody else. So, yeah, I guess it's just been a little rough. And especially because all of the courses in my program are very discussion based.
mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to talk and share my ideas. But it's just something that's really hard for me. I feel like I've kind of felt that way forever. Um, I don't know. I always feel like my thoughts are not good to share and not valid. But then after the fact, I always regret that I didn't share because I know people could learn from me. But
Agree.
I'm just having a hard time figuring out, like, I guess strategies maybe that I could use to help me talk more in
Mm-hmm.
class. I've kind of, I don't know. I'm just looking for advice on, like, maybe what I could do. I don't know.
Yeah, so what are some of the things that you're discussing in class? Like, why might you find it hard to talk about these things?
That's a good question. I think specifically in my classes right now, a lot of the stuff is you have to be very vulnerable
Mm,
to share all of it. I mean, I guess my thoughts are like in undergrad or in high school, it felt like teachers were looking, like for a quick answer or like you could answer the question in one way, but I feel like in grad school, you can answer the question in so many different ways, whatever the question is. So I just feel like it's a combination of things. It's that a lot of the questions that are being asked are really vulnerable to answer, like because some of them are like personal.
mm-hmm.
So I forget what the other part I said was, but yeah, I think just being it's hard to be vulnerable, and a lot of the questions kind of require that. So
Require vulnerability. Yeah, vulnerability can be hard, especially in a group setting like that. Um, why do you think it might be a little bit difficult for you? Have you ever had to be vulnerable in front of a group before?
um now that I think about it, not not really, like, not in this same way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in my like in growing up and stuff, like I grew up in a very loving family and everybody supported everybody, but we didn't really talk about like emotions, I guess, that might come along with being vulnerable. So
Yeah.
like it's just not something that I'm used to, and it just makes me so uncomfortable to be vulnerable, even though I know it's important. Like I know that especially in the context of like the classroom that if you're vulnerable then your peers can learn from you, but it's just still it's really hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm trying to think if there's ever been a time that I've had to be vulnerable in front of a group. I don't know, and maybe that's where this kind of stems from because I feel like I can be vulnerable. I'm capable of that, but I feel like it's only with my close friends because I know I can trust them. And I know everybody in our classes are really kind and are respectful and they appreciate vulnerability, but it's still hard to do. And it's something that it's like when I see somebody be vulnerable to share or to answer like kind of a hard question, I'm always like, wow, they're so smart. So I need to maybe keep that in mind when I'm trying to be vulnerable. Um, so I think maybe if I do that, that could help me a little bit. Um,
Yeah, I'm kind of
yeah.
hearing that you're looking for like a supportive environment when you're looking to be vulnerable in front of a group. Um, what sort of things make you feel supported when you're in a moment of vulnerability?
Um, I mean, like I said before, kind of the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I would say encouraging words from my friends. Um, Oftentimes like this, I don't know, this might sound weird, but like body language of people,
Absolutely.
like yeah, like I just think like if they're, like if I do be vulnerable to share in class, like when people like nod their heads and stuff like that, it makes me feel good. But I think the part that's tricky with those things is that I realize I'm also relying on other people
Mm-hmm.
to like give me cues about if I'm doing well, which I shouldn't. I think that's where this issue stems from. It's like a personal thing of just like not feeling like I'm doing good enough or that I'm smart enough. So I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, what I could do for myself, I guess. Like you said, like how could I feel supportive of myself? I feel like I could definitely be better at positive self-talk. I'm
Yeah,
not,
positive affirmation is always great.
yeah, I'm not always very good at that. So I think if I maybe do that, I could feel a little more comfortable talking in class.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of anything else I could do. I mean, maybe I could. I mean, I this is just an idea, but maybe I could like ask my friends, like, because I know that. Well, I know they're gonna tell me that I did good, but I think sometimes like asking for confirmation, like, I mean, two different things. Like I said, I don't want to always be reliant on other
Mm-hmm.
people to like help me or make me feel supported, but I think it doesn't hurt sometimes.
Well, yeah,
So
and also you might not necessarily have to ask for like confirmation that you did good, but just ask for honest feedback from your classmates.
yeah.
Because I mean, people try their hardest to be kind, but like also it's important to also be truthful. So if that's something that you're looking for is like feedback in a way that like will help you grow, I think that's absolutely something that you should ask for. Um, I'm also kind of hearing that you keep saying other people are so smart when they share. So tell me a little bit more about why you're relating them speaking up in class to them having like a high intellect.
Oh boy. That's yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even realize I was doing that.
Yeah, because I mean personally, I
Oh,
sometimes people talk and they'll just say stuff. So I'm
I
wondering what
know.
your connection there is.
I know. I don't know. I think it probably comes from my negative self-talk, I
Okay,
guess. I think like
tell me
because
more.
I'm not I think I underestimate myself.
Hmm.
And so like I also think that because I don't speak up in class, yeah, I guess I feel like I'm not smart. And like because I'm not sharing, I'm not smart. Like I'm not, even though I have thoughts in my head, I just don't speak them out.
Hmm.
So ooh, I didn't even realize I was doing that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point, like for me to consider is like to remember too, I think for myself that even when I don't speak up in class, you can still be smart and not speak up.
Hmm.
Because I think you have a point of like, yeah, sometimes people, not, I'm not talking about anybody in our class, but just like
Right.
in general, like people can, just because you have the ability to speak up and talk doesn't mean you're smart.
Right.
And again, not anybody in our class. I'm just saying,
No, I
like,
know.
I'm just saying, like, in general,
Yeah,
people
in
can be
general.
like that. I think that's a good point for me to remember too. Um,
Yeah, and that could also aid with your positive self-talk there because would also like to know like what aspects of class come naturally and come easily to you, and I guess in a sense make you feel smart.
mm, that's a good thing to think about too, like the aspects that make me feel good because
Hmm.
maybe I get those kind of aspects. Um, I think, let's see. I like when we do like group work
Hmm.
or like group discussions because I feel like when we do that, I'm able to like talk with other people, and when I hear their ideas, it gives me other thoughts. And I guess sometimes too, when their ideas are the same as mine, it gives me that confirmation. which again
Mm-hmm.
is good, and like it's not always great to, I don't know, rely on somebody else, but like it does feel good when somebody has the same thought as you sometimes, because you are like, oh, I get it. So I
Mm-hmm.
think, let's see. Yeah, working in a group. Um, what was the question again?
Yeah, what aspects of class come naturally to you?
Yeah, I think, yeah, working with a group.
Do you enjoy writing?
Yeah, in some
Mm-hmm.
ways. I don't actually enjoy writing, but it's really good for me to get my thoughts down in
Mm-hmm.
writing. Like for example, when we do the in next class, when we do the like theory is like, where did you see theory in your life this week? I always
Mm-hmm.
write it down because it helps me with my thoughts, which kind of just gave me a good idea of like, maybe I could write down, like when a question's asked in class or something, maybe I could write it down and that would help me.
That
But
was
I
going to
hadn't
be
thought
my
about
next question is, yeah,
yeah,
like, is there a way that you can kind of bridge those two things? So, like, use something that comes naturally to you and use it to help aid something that may not be as natural, especially if it feels like a point that you might struggle on. Because I feel like all of these class, like, aspects of the class kind of are intertwined together, and ultimately, like, lead to success within the class. So there's more than one way to show your thoughts and to share your opinions. So allow one aspect to help out the others. Um, yeah. I also think that, like, tell me a little bit more about like the nature of these discussions. Like, what exactly are y'all discussing that makes like is hard to share about the
yeah,
topic?
I think the discussions, I mean, they vary by class. I think I find myself more apt to share when it's about, which, like, I don't know, this might sound kind of like opposite, but like when it's a kind of like a personal experience, I feel
Mm-hmm.
better sharing about that because like, that's just my experience. So, I mean, not that it doesn't require thought, but it doesn't, there's, this sounds bad, but like there's no way that it's wrong because it's my
Yeah.
experience. So like I feel better sharing it. So like about in class when there's questions about graduate assistantships or just like your experience in school or things like that, I feel like I'm very apt to share. But when it comes to like content stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I struggle. And I've kind of went back and forth with this because at first I was kind of thinking like, maybe that, I mean, I always had ideas of an answer in my head, but I never shared. So I kind of thought like maybe it had something to do, like maybe I wasn't preparing well enough for class or things like that. So I started doing like a couple different things. Like I would take notes in a different way, or I would like
Mm-hmm.
listen to an article or something like that. But then I realized that I did actually know the content, but I was just scared that to answer questions because I was scared that it was going to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think with that, like, I struggle with like conflict, I would say. Like when it comes to my peers, I know that conflict can be good and useful in some ways, but I also I I guess I don't want anybody to disagree with me because I want to be likable and I want people to like me. Like I'm very much, I need that kind of reassurance. So I yeah, I guess I get scared that people are gonna think something differently from me, but I also try to keep in mind that like if somebody thinks something different from me, that's okay and it will help
Mm-hmm.
me learn and grow. So yeah.
Have you ever in class, like maybe you've said something, has someone disagreed with you and it's led to like a debate or something?
Um, I'm trying to think if that's ever happened. I mean, no, I don't think that that specific instance has ever happened, but that would be like my worst nightmare. So like I think that's why, again, like another like small reason why I'm like kind of scared is because I don't want anything like that to happen, or like people like with that, people to think I'm dumb, like I've said kind of before. There's something else I was gonna say. What can you say your question again? Forget.
Oh, girl, I don't even remember the question. Oh, it
Trying to
was
remember.
like, oh yeah, like has someone ever disagreed with you and it's led to like
Oh,
a debate or like a long drawn out conversation? 5 minutes
yeah,
left for a meeting.
I
Sorry.
think it'll stay. I think it'll stay. I think it's good.
Okay.
Let me think. I'm assuming we're gonna edit out this part, so
Yeah, might as well.
it's totally fine. Okay. How much time? We started at 22, right?
Think so.
Okay, we're almost there. Okay, maybe just start with asking another question because I feel like I answered that question and we can cut
Yeah.
it there. Okay.
I guess on the flip side of that, has something like someone else has said ever made you want to debate with someone? Like, have you ever felt like someone was dumb or like thought less of them based on something they said in class?
That's a good question. I don't think I feel like there have been times that I've wanted to, yeah, like speak up and like, I mean, not, I guess not debate somebody, but like just say something different, or like maybe I didn't agree with something they said. But again, I don't really like conflict. So
Mm-hmm.
no, I've never really done that. But I think that your question is really good because it made me realize that no, I've never thought anybody was dumb for anything they've said in class. So maybe that's also another strategy I could use to keep in mind. Like when I'm anxious to say something or nervous, I could just remind myself, I've never thought anybody was dumb because of something they said in class.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they think that? And also, if they do, then like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, which that's hard for me to remember because like
Mm-hmm.
I've been, anxious like this pretty much kind of my whole life, but like yeah, I need to keep that in mind. So if I
Yeah.
maybe tried that and then like try to write down my thoughts too, I think maybe
Mm-hmm.
that could help me
Yeah, and I think
speak up
it's
more.
super important that since you know this is something that you struggle with and you've struggled with it for a long time, like the anxiety about things, you're aware that you probably need to try to reframe things in your mind, to allow you to excel at the things that might cause you some anxiety. So I think that that could be a good first step is like trying to reframe some of these ideas that you're having, and just think about it from like your perspective. Because like you said, like you've never thought anyone was dumb because of something they said in class. And also from just like a 100-foot view, is that person who might think you're dumb really worth your time? Like, are you so concerned about someone's opinion like that that it would prevent you from like learning and growing in class?
Yeah, that's a good point. I really should not. Yeah, like it when it comes down to it, I shouldn't care about people because if it's, yeah, like you said, if it's going to prevent me from learning and growing, then that's another reason why I shouldn't let it affect me.
Mm-hmm.
So, need to try to keep that in mind. Yeah, I think those all those things together will, if I work at them little by little, I think I
Mm-hmm.
can a goal. And I also think that for me, like, I mean, setting realistic goals works really well. So, like, if I set a goal, I mean, I'll have to think about it after this, but like, maybe if I set a goal to try to speak 3 times in class this week, then I can try to grow a little bit more and more. And like, not only set that goal of trying to talk for 3 times in one class, but maybe like, how will I do that? Like,
Yeah.
you know, maybe I'll write down my thoughts and then speak 3 times, or I don't know. I mean, it's something for me to think about, but I definitely think some of the things we talked about I'll be able to use. And I think this conversation helped me feel better
I'm so
about
sad.
myself. And
Yeah,
it
no,
made me
this
realize
is
it made me realize some things that I was thinking were not all the way true. So thank you for that.
of course. And yeah, this is like a process. And ultimately like anxiety, all of us have it, and it's also like it's something that we're all actively trying to work through. Um, and sometimes it's not something that necessarily like you overcome or like get rid of. Like it's not like it doesn't affect you anymore, but it's something that you're able to better work through. So I think setting goals is a wonderful first step. Because at some point it'll start to come more naturally. And then like the 3 times speaking in class will feel like nothing, and you can increase it to maybe like 6 times a week. So yeah, I really encourage you to just like keep working at it. And you're always welcome to come back and talk to me about any type of way you're feeling in class. But
Thank
I really wanted to thank you for trusting me with all of this. And yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for listening to me.
of course. Okay. Did we hit the
Okay.
time?
Yep.
Okay.
So I think it's like 22 minutes. So I think we're good with our little cutout. So
Yeah, it'll be perfect. Okay.
yay. Did you end your recording?
No, not yet. Let's see. Um, oh, what did I do? Stop recording.